Hello, welcome to the Space Library. Have you ever wondered? The universe we live in has an end. Or everything is just infinite. We can look out over billions of light years. But what lies at the edge of the universe remains a mystery. There are incredible gaps. As if the universe is hiding something from our eyes. And these questions lead us to these strange concepts. The expansion and contraction of the universe, parallel universe, and even the end of time. What's going to happen to the universe and to us for billions of years to come? Let's explore at the Space Library. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Your thoughts, it can help open up new conversations. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow not to miss any videos on this path to explore the infinite universe. And now, get ready. Ready to come with me to the end of time and space to answer the questions that we're looking at. Space is the final frontier and the history of space exploration. The final frontier, space, open up in front of us as a kingdom of infinite possibilities. Imagine a place that every star twinkles. It's a door. It leads to undiscovered wonders. Where one limit? It can stifle people's imagination. The stars and the planets that we see. It's not just the light in the sky. It's a call from the universe. It inspires us to keep looking, discover and conquer the unknown. The mystery of the universe is a low flame. The human curiosity take us on an endless journey in search of answers. But what awaits us ahead? Whether can we ever reach the boundaries of space or not? Or is it just a perpetual illusion in sight? From thousands of years ago, people couldn't resist the attraction of the night sky with its beauty and mystery. For the ancient civilizations, the sky is a sacred place where the gods live, and all the motions of the celestial bodies have meaning. Big questions have been asked. Who we are in this universe? What lies outside these glistening galaxies? And those questions aren't just curiosity. It also contains desire to understand the nature of everything. Even without modern technology, the ancient civilizations that built the early observatories and mapping the Sao constellations, let's start our journey of space exploration that we continue to this day. But even if we've made tremendous progress in pushing the limits of modern science, the universe is still full of unfathomable mysteries. From the most modern telescopes, we see billions of galaxies, but the farther we look, the universe seems to be getting bigger and more mysterious than ever. It's an infinite space that opens up wonder. It also makes us wonder, is there really a boundary to this vastness? Or are we just standing in front of an endless entrance? Will we ever be? We can solve all the mysteries of the universe. Or is it a journey we have to pursue forever? The two limits of the observable universe. Imagine you're standing in the middle of endless darkness. Look deep into the universe. Maybe you believe that with modern technology, we've reached the boundary of space. See everything the universe can show. But this is an illusion. What we see, it's just a small part of the cosmic veil. The part that people can observe, it's called the observable universe. It's like a room in an infinite house, where we can only see things close enough. Let their light come. Earth wall, 46.5 billion light. That's the Hubble limit. It keeps us from the mystery. It's unimaginable. The Hubble limit isn't just a giant number. It's also a reminder that we're just seeing a bubble around us. Light from more distant objects, 46.5 billion light. It's simply not in time for our eyes. The universe can go on forever, but the light is limited. It's a paradox of discovery. We have modern tools, powerful telescopes, but it all stops at the Hubble limit, where we can't look any further. Whether what lies there are galaxies, worlds like the Earth, or something that we've never thought about. And when we look up at the night sky, we're actually looking back in time. The light from those distant stars may have been born millions of years ago, even for billions of years. When we look at galaxy H, D1 is 13.4 billion light years away. We're seeing it in the distant past. Its light took 13.4 billion years to get here. This begs the question, we can believe what we see when it's all a picture of the past. Or there's a whole different universe. It exists in its own reality. go beyond the limits that we can observe. Horizons and limits in the universe. When we think of the universe as an infinite space, does anyone suspect that in that infinity, there are invisible but insurmountable limits? These horizons, it's like the borders of consciousness. Every boundary marks the limits of what we can know. We can see and understand the universe. On the road of discovery, we're facing the horizons of time, of space, and even of speed. It's all like barriers to evoke the mystery about what we can't touch. The grain horizon is the door, and the past is the point where light from the earliest moments of the universe, it can come to us. As we look at the universe through the particle horizon, we're looking at the images existed billions of years ago. Those were the first moments after the Big Bang, when the atoms, light, and matter begin to form and open the way to the evolution of the universe that we see today. But this is a door we can't get through. What happened before that? The earliest moments of the universe, still hidden behind the veil of darkness, as if the universe is keeping its deepest secrets. Beyond that is the event horizon, a boundary that doesn't just encapsulate the past, it's all about the future. This is the limit of what we can observe. In the future is where the light from the present, you can go to the observer the next time. But the paradox is that, as we get closer to the event horizon, the universe is expanding. Pull away from the objects out there, out of our reach, we're forever faced with a cosmological paradox. Closer to the event horizon, the further we see it receding, it's as if the universe is playing a game, endless hiding with humans. Finally, the Hubble horizon, a different but more challenging boundary. This is the limit of objects are moving too fast, too far from us, so much so that the light from them will never touch the observer's face. When we look at space, we know that there are galaxies. It's because other worlds are present, but they'll be forever out of our sight. It's as if the universe is being torn apart, that we can only vaguely recognize. All of these boundaries raise a big question. Are there things that will last forever? It's beyond human understanding. These horizons, with every strange and insurmountable boundary, it's not just the limit of light and speed, but it's also the limit of cognitive understanding. What will happen if we can break down these horizons, walk across the Hubble horizon looking beyond the event horizon, and touch the magic that we can only imagine? Is it a possible journey? Or just a dream that the universe refused to give to humanity? The expansion of the universe and the limit of light. Imagine the universe as a vast ocean, and we're floating in a small boat in the midst of endless water. But different from the sea, the universe is constantly expanding, and all the stars are, the galaxies around us are also moving away, like islands swept out of sight. This is not the movement of objects. It's that space itself is expanding. It makes us more isolated. With every passing moment, things that used to be close in sight, now they're just distant points of light. And some will forever be out of our sight, like ships disappearing from the horizon, ever to go back. And this leads to an inevitable paradox. As the universe expands, it stretches light. It's what we need to see and understand the universe. The speed of light is not infinite, and with the new spatial distances being widened, the light takes longer to pass through. What that means is, even when we look at the night sky, we don't see galaxies and south stars in their current state. It's their images from millions, even billions of years ago. Every ray of light is a letter from the distant past, sent to Earth with messages from past eras. The expansion of the universe doesn't just create spaces in space, it's also diminishing our ability to observe. As objects in the universe move away at the speed of light, it means we'll never see them again. We are limited because of the speed that light can travel. The further we look, the more we see the distant past. But the more we realize that there are areas that are permanently out of our reach. What we see, just shadows from the past. It's like watching a star die, but its light still reaches their eyes. I am an image of past life. From millions of years ago, the universe expands with each ray of light. It makes them weak and out of our sight. And so the question is no longer how much we can see in the universe. It's how much we're missing. It's probably outside the speed limit of light. The universe is filled with wonder. The planets, the civilizations that we'll never know. Is there any possibility to overcome this barrier, to capture what's hiding out of reach? Or the limitation of light? It's also the last barrier, anchoring humanity in a small corner of the vast universe, forever separated from the marvels that we can only imagine. The expansion and end of the universe. In the first moments of the universe, a giant explosion, the Big Bang, created everything, from the smallest particles to the vastness of galaxies. It's not just the birth of the universe. It's the birth of time, space as we know it. But the traces of this explosion didn't go away. That still echoes hope in the universe today, through something called CMP wave background radiation. It's the vestige of the first light. It started when the universe was young and chaotic. A photograph of the early days that scientists can use to trace the history of the universe, each stage of changes in density and energy. Look at the background radiation. We ought only to see the light of an ancient age. It's also possible to speculate about the fate of the universe, recorded from the light waves. In temperature and density, this radiation shows that the universe is not static. It's expanding, and it's constantly expanding. The strange thing is that this rate of expansion isn't slowing down. On the contrary, it's accelerating. The mysterious force behind this it's dark energy. It's an invisible form of energy. It takes up most of the space and governs the development of the universe. Dark energy is like an invisible hand, pushing galaxies apart at incredible speeds. If there's nothing to stop it, dark energy will continue to push the universe to expand forever. Make the heavens. They are increasingly moving away from each other until they become completely invisible to each other. It's a prospect, what scientists call the cold death of the universe. When all we know, from galaxies to cell stars and planets, they're all scattered, leaving a cold and empty dark space. However, the expansion of the universe, it's not just about distance. It's asking bigger questions. Does the universe have an end? There must be a day of everything. It will return to its original state, or will continue to stretch until it's all gone. When dark energy continue to push the universe to undefined boundaries, we're faced with an unsolved mystery. Whether anything exists outside the observable universe where this expansion can't be reached, or they're all caught up in the infinite land. The last question. It's not just about the fate of distant galaxies, it's our own destiny. The little observers, trying to understand an infinite universe. Every theory, every calculation of dark energy and debt relief, which brings us to the question, it's inevitable. When everything is gone, what's left? 6. The distant future of the universe and the apocalyptic scenario. Look at the distant future of the universe. We can't help but wonder. What will this expansion lead to? Will the universe we live in last forever? Or will face some kind of end? One last point, that all energy and matter, it's inevitable. This question leads us into destructive scenarios, full of challenges, the scenarios of the end of the world, where it's the basic structure of everything. They can be pushed to the limit. One of the scariest scenarios is heat death, hides of the universe. When the expansion is relentless, causing the temperature of the entire universe to gradually drop to the point where there's no energy left to support life, or any activity. Then the universe would be a cold, dark place, where all the south stars were off. All energy is exhausted, and there's only absolute silence left. This is not a violent explosion, or a sudden event. It's a silent death, as each part of the universe moves, slowly sinking into a frozen state forever. Against the scenario of massive tearing, Big Rich describes an even more dire scenario, when the rate of expansion is constantly increasing, where everything in the universe, from the galaxies, star planets, and finally, the atoms, are being ripped apart by the very force of debt relief. Nothing can ever exist. When the pull of dark energy becomes so powerful that it breaks down every structure, all linked to leave a shattered universe, where everything is divided and scattered forever. It's a violent and painful death, an end in which space itself and time is torn to nothingness. However, there is another possibility of a large Bitcoin recovery. This is a script, in stark contrast to the current instead of continuing to expand, the universe can stop and go back, shrinks and eventually collapses to a singularity. a state of where all matter and energy are compressed. It's like the start of the Big Bang. If this happens, the universe will breathe a great breath. A cycle of burst out and retract and will once again create a new the beginning of another universe. Each of these scenarios is not just a scientific hypothesis, it's also a dramatic picture. The fate of everything we know. They remind us that, in the infinity of the universe, there are inevitable limits, and one day, it could all come to an end. But is this ending really a stopping point? Or just the beginning of another cycle? An endless chain of life and death? Is the universe a perpetual machine? Recreate yourself from destruction. Well, the answer is still beyond human reach. These doomsday scenarios continue to evoke the desire, the unlimited knowledge and curiosity of mankind about their own existence in the vastness of space. 7. New theories about the origin and fate of the universe. New theories about the origin and fate of the universe. It's not just expanding our understanding, it's also challenging the imagination about the nature of reality. It's one of the most audacious ideas, the theory of the knife universe, the oscillating universe. It's an endless cycle. In there, the universe goes through periods of debt relief and recovery. Instead of having a single beginning and end, the universe can be a great stage where successive cycles of birth and death follow. Each time the debt limit is reached, the universe will collapse into a singularity, and then it explodes into another big explosion, starting a new universe. It's not just the idea of a physical loop, it's also a cyclic flow of time. Conjures up images of an immortality of the universe. Multiverse theory. It's a completely different perspective. In this theory, the universe we live in, it's just one of the countless universes that exist. Every universe has its own rules, separate physics and structure. If the multiverse theory suggests that we're just a small part of a picture, overall, giant, where successive universes are burrowed and alive in their own way. In each of these bubble universes, there may be other versions of ourselves, living in completely different conditions. This is not just a fake scientific equation, but also a deep sense of difference and diversity. That opens up the big question. If we were just one of countless universes, that's where we really are, in this whole. Quantum form, quantum field. To push the speculation further by imagining, in a quantum vacuum, space is not empty. Instead, it's got a lot of tiny fluctuations, creating random space bubbles. These vibrations, it could be the seed for new universes. They appear and disappear in an instant, or survive long enough to become a complete universe like ours. Pictures of quantum powder ought just reflect a perpetual chaos. 9-bit also opens up the notion that everything we know, maybe it's just a bubble that pops up in the vibrancy of the quantum environment. If true, this shows the origin of the universe is not a single event. It's the result of the fundamental laws of mechanics. Quantum makes copper alive. The idea that nothing is empty. These theories, it doesn't just encourage us to explore, but also we're faced with profound questions. Is the reality we know everything? We are living in an endless series of successive universes, or just part of an endless ocean. The parallel universes, and if every quantum oscillation could create a new universe, what is the foundation for everything? These theories, it's not just a scientific journey. It's also a reminder of our smallness in a world that the ultimate boundary is still out of reach. 8 roles of dark matter and dark energy. In this magical world of space, dark matter and dark energy to act as invisible architects, silently dominating the entire structure of the universe, even though we can't observe them directly. But these mysterious objects that hold the secrets of how the universe formed, it grows and can end. It's because of the gravity of dark matter that galaxies can relate to into giant clusters and fibers, creating a space network that we see through modern telescopes. In these clusters and fibers, dark matter acts as a strange binder to sustain and connect galaxies together into an incredibly large-scale structure. But if dark matter, it's the glue that holds galaxies and clusters together. Dark energy is an invisible force. The opposite effect pushes galaxies apart. Dark energy has been and dilating the gaps between clusters of galaxies, expand the space, and keep the universe expanding at a faster and faster rate. This phenomenon, it's even changed how we understand the future of the universe. If this rate of dead expansion continues, one day, the galaxies will leave us. So much so that we can no longer see them. It makes our universe into an empty and cold space where light from other galaxies ever to come. However, the fascinating thing is dark energy doesn't work very well, and it's still a big puzzle for scientists. If the dark energy continues to rise, it could cause the universe not only to expand, it's also at risk of being torn apart, and that's another doomsday scenario called Big Rich. Large tearing. In this perspective, the dark energy will become stronger, that it can break down any structure, from massive galaxies to every planet star, and even atoms. But if the dark energy diminishes over time, the universe might slow down, no more debt, and start collecting. It leads to a completely different ending. Big retracement. The existence of dark matter and dark energy. It doesn't just affect the physical scale of the universe. It also opens up profound philosophical questions about the nature of reality. They're invisible elements. It can't be felt by the senses, but it's a huge influence for everything around us. We live in a universe that's mostly dark, both literally and figuratively. And it's this. It raises curiosity about what we don't know. What's the nature of these invisible things? Where do they come from? Is there a way for people to one day I can understand or even use them? These mysteries continue to defy the and curiosity comes in. The limit of humanity. It keeps us searching and exploring. In large space gaps, in the vastness of the universe, there are vast gaps. It's almost completely empty. The great and cold spaces that, if you move through them at the speed of light, the journey could take hundreds of millions of years, but still only see the darkness. These large space gaps, it's one of the biggest mysteries that astronomers have faced, and they're starting to reveal. When humans first discovered the bulbous void, giant void, with a diameter of 330.0005 light of galaxies, it's challenging our understanding of the universe, because according to cosmological principles, in the universe should be evenly distributed. But the DOS voice contradicts that principle. It's like a cosmic desert in a crowded galaxy. The deeper we learn, the scientists, more and more spaces are found. Bigger, like Idona's supervoice and Cain's Venatici supervoice. It's not just empty spaces, but also the superdragons. It's missing galaxies in any structure. Idona's supervoice, even wide 21 billion light-years, a size that's almost unimaginable, make it one of the structures of the universe. The most giant, in the dark space of these the few galaxies scattered, like faint blobs in the deep night, emphasize the isolation and the strange emptiness of these areas. The existence of large and ultra-wide gaps ask questions about their origins. Whether these spaces is it the result of the expansion of the universe, where galaxies are pushed away to the point of being almost separated, or whether they're related to quantitative fluctuations from the beginning of the universe, when the random oscillations could have created these empty spaces from the beginning. For the observer, these spaces can cause a sense of endless isolation, as if the universe has kept secrets since its birth. These vast regions of space, it reminds us that even though we've come a long way in understanding astronomy, there are still places where light and matter have never been. And we, still standing at the threshold of a great mystery, the end and rebirth of the universe. Our universe with all its wonder and mystery. It's not just a story of life and death. It can also contain a sequence. The stages of eternal rebirth. Modern theories of the universe. It seems to start a journey without a stop. With the current universe, it could have originated from a black hole in another universe, or self-recollection of a previous universe. Maybe the very quantum motion of a universe was broken long ago, has created a vivid cycle of birth, growth and destruction. These theories seem to be guiding us on an unlimited expedition, where the end is just the beginning for a new chapter. It opens up other possibilities of existence. Theories like string theory and gravity. The quantum of death offers a promising perspective. It allows us to think about the universe. It's not just a separate entity, but as part of a network of interwoven universes connected to each other through quantum bridges and infinite cycles. It could be an image of a universe without borders, a constant flow of life and rebirth. The remaining questions are for you. Do you think that the universe actually has a beginning and an end? Or should we're just part of something? It's much bigger than we can understand. I look forward to hearing your thoughts and views. Don't hesitate. Share your questions in the comments section. Every question, every opinion, it's an inspiration for me to continue to explore and produce more answer videos, bringing us closer and closer to the truth about the universe. Thank you for watching the entire video. I wish you and your family well, happy, and see you next time.